Hey, it's Rene, and this is
Jen, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us in Marriage Plus Business. And it's right before Christmas.
the week before.
Yeah. And we thought we would share our week and talk about value. By the way, you're extremely valuable.
So are you.
I value you a lot.
I value you a lot too.
Yay. So, how was your week?
My week, let's see, has gone fairly well. Got projects in the hopper. I mean, you've heard me say this before, but there's a combination of art and design work that I've been doing. Same as I've mentioned before, but overall it's been pretty good. I think one of the things that carried over from the last episode, which was our trip up to Truckee, California in snow country, as I like to call it during
That was
winter,
fun.
is I'm still...
Thanks, Bill and Sheila.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. One of the things I carried over was wanting to continue to wear the gear that I
Oh,
brought
yeah,
for
tell
up
them,
there.
tell them what you wore all week, even though we
So,
weren't in the snow anymore.
Yeah, even though we weren't in the snow, I like wearing my layers underneath.
What are they called?
My mom calls them long johns, but
Yeah.
they have a brand name. I forget what they're called, but they're basically like kind of like a sheer. They're almost like.
Are they silk or what are they? Cotton?
There's some
Leggings.
leggings, for lack of a better term, but like they really keep your legs warm when they need to be warm, and if you're like out in the heat, and if I'm walking uphill, which there are hills here in Monterey, slight hills, not like San Francisco, but we're walking back up, let's say from a morning walk or something like a meeting or whatnot down by the water on the rec trail in Monterey. Well, we're walking back uphill, my legs stay cool. So this material, I think, kind of regulates your body temperature and even to a certain degree like sweat as well. So it feels really comfortable walking up the hill when I'm wearing my layers on my legs.
Oh yeah, didn't you wear them also when you were dancing at Santa Cruz?
I did
Swing
do that at
Club's
a dance.
Christmas party.
We danced West Coast Swing, and we were at a dance party, and I noticed like my pants weren't
Sticking to you.
sticking because of sweat, so that helped. And then also I have a pair of like these winter boots, wintry. They've got like they're waterproof
Snow boots.
snow boots, I guess, essentially. But you could also wear them here in Monterey where there isn't snow.
It rains.
Where it rains and like it's got good traction. So I have winter gear now.
Yeah, it's kind
As
of
far
funny.
as I'm concerned. And then my beanie that I wear, which I've never worn a beanie before. So
But now that
it
you
feels
have
good.
one,
Yeah,
you
it
like
just feels
it?
good. Yeah. I like wearing a beanie.
Yeah,
So
you look good in it too.
thank you.
But yeah, he's right. It's like we don't really have winter weather. We have cool
Cold weather.
San Francisco weather. That's what we have year round. It's cool here all the time. Overcast a lot. Sunny sometimes, but cloudy for the most part, foggy. And so we wear jackets all year long.
And we sleep with a heated
Heated blanket.
as well.
And so to have like snow boots that we wear splashing around in the rain puddles, which we actually did.
Yeah. Well,
Kinda fun.
this is not a whole lot of rain, but there's
Are we
puddles for
weird?
sure.
We're weird.
That's what we do, I guess.
Guess so.
Look forward to wearing winter gear.
That's why we don't have tans. It's cool here all the time. So where most people are wearing sundresses and getting tans, we're in June gloom, and it's
That's
cool. And we're wearing leather and sweaters. But
Yeah.
it's perfect though because it never really freezes here and it never really gets hot. It's like between 30 degrees or 32, 30 something degrees in Fahrenheit in the winter because it doesn't freeze here. It might in the mountains. And
You
then
might get a freeze warning.
then like a
every
hot
now
day
and
would
then.
be like 85 degrees. Unless you get a really weird day, which is like, we're seeing more weird days, like 100 degrees, which is crazy because we don't have air conditioning here. So, and our insulation, oh yeah, that's another thing that we noticed after our Truckee trip. Their insulation is great. Like you can walk around in shorts and a t-shirt in the winter in their houses and you feel pretty comfortable. Here, it's more humid and our insulation is thin, if at all. So, yeah, even though we're not freezing temperatures around here, it is it's colder here.
Sure.
It feels colder. Does
Yep.
that make sense? I'm sure the people up in Minnesota would just laugh at us.
No, it's a sliding scale. It depends where
It's
you're
what we're
at.
used to. Just like we wouldn't know what to do if it was like 120 degrees every day. We'd be like, ugh, thanks, but no thanks. Give me a swimming pool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's that just has to do with the elements as far as my week is concerned.
Oh yeah.
As far as like work stuff, you know, I'm doing a painting for like January as part of my Patreon
Oh,
thing, and so doing that painting just has me already kind of focused on 2020 and what I want to do as well. There is let's see, what else am I doing?
what do you want to do for 2020? What are your goals? Let's like make it like state it, make it happen. What do you feel like doing this year, 2020? That
Well, I'm
is.
glad you mentioned 2020 because I have a 2020 calendar right here that I just created. Actually, it's a compilation of the artwork I've been doing pretty much for the last year.
Show them.
And this is available on my website. If you go to reneariola.com, you'll get a link to my online store.
ReneArreola.com.
That is it. That's my name. And my artwork here, which features the realm ethereal world, is a full color calendar. And it's the second year in a row that I've done one. And I'll just give you a little preview here. It just has, you know, some really cool artwork that I've been doing, as I mentioned, all year long, building this universe of characters that I'm also going to be creating a comic book for. So that's one of the goals for 2020 is to also put out my comic book based on these characters.
Just put it down.
So we'll just
Right
put
here.
this down here. I don't know if that'll
La,
pick it
la,
up on
la.
the camera, but
La 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 la. Hey, save a starving artist from starving. Yeah, buy one today. How much are you selling them for?
on my website they're $25
$25
plus shipping and handling.
for
So
a completely created for you, and you get to sign it, right?
they do come signed. I do sign them myself.
Yep.
So
Collector's item.
So there's the plug. But as far as 2020, I think what I want to do
Mm-hmm.
is, on top of creating more art, you know, that's a given. That's like always. So I think what I want to do is to get myself more involved with actually putting myself in front of the camera.
Mm.
So I think that's a goal to somehow. See, and I haven't completely thought this out, but I think the word is exposure in a couple of different ways, with the art, with myself, filming myself making art, and also talking about the artwork itself. So all this year has been, 2019 has been creating these worlds and kind of coming up with the characters. So now I have a body of work. Now I'm going to start talking about them. And also I want to hit a convention or two this year to get to present.
Participate or
Well, to
spectate?
participate. Yeah, good. Glad you brought that up. To actually like get a table and meet people,
Yeah.
share my work,
Get out there.
and see, you know,
Say hi.
say hi basically, and you know, contribute to the art world in this particular genre
Okay.
of art. So as far as other goals, you know, there's a lot of stuff that is business related. I think when it comes to like this avenue of what I do as a creative with my art, so that means more, you know, coming up with the merchandise, finding ways to fund it, having a plan too with money, figuring out what kind of things I'm going to invest in when it comes to, well, my time as far as doing my art, what to focus on, but also like even like advertising, you know, because we're learning that as far as like with Rockstar Marketing, how important it is to advertise on the one hand just by way of putting your brand out there,
Exposure.
but then also like, you know, you got to pay to play,
Yeah,
you know, to get reach.
you do.
And there's organic reach and then there's paid reach. So
Right.
that's an avenue of exploration for me, taking off my artist hat and putting on, you know, the business hat, and continuing to further navigate those waters,
Nice.
and just learning from as many different people or sources as I can find
Mm-hmm.
that pertain to this area of interest
Mm-hmm.
with my art,
Mm-hmm.
and to make a lot more art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm really proud of you.
thank you.
Yeah. So, this week was a lot of value. I met with 3 of my coaches. I have 3 coaches. I met with all 3 of them this week. And they all shared with me valuable bits of advice that could help us take the business to the next level.
Your marketing business.
Marketing business. Yeah. And I mean, anything that I learn for the marketing agency, I also pass on to him so he can apply it. But admittedly, I'm a 10-year business and he's a 1-year business. So not everything that I'm doing applies to what he's doing, but at least I can hopefully inspire you and
definitely
lead you through a breadcrumb path where you can see what I'm learning and how I'm evolving, and then you can emulate that. Because, I mean, part of the reason why our business has been successful is because we sit down and we do interviews with all of our clients to find out their story. And when I'm sitting down and talking to my auto repair shop clients and I find out their journey towards success, I learn something. Therefore, I become more successful when I'm hanging out with more people sharing their success stories. And so I'm hopeful that whatever it is that I bring home as far as a valuable lesson or a value added thing, or even marketing the value adds that we offer to our clients, that you're also taking that and running with it. But I'll tell you what, my 3 business meetings with my 3 coaches gave me great inspiration, but also kind of a wake-up call. And it all has to do with value. So let me just kind of walk you through it. So the newest business coach that I have is Susie Carter. She is the coach of Lisa Nichols. She has helped many, many entrepreneurs take their business to the millions. And she's a remarkable human being. I'm really happy that I am working with her. I mean, she is just a beautiful human and cares deeply. And she and I talked about what I do. We had a one-on-one. I talked about what I do, the services I offer, what I'm currently doing, where I want to go. I kind of laid out my roadmap of what I see for my future. And we got to the pricing. And here I am, like we've developed as the top content marketing agency in the auto repair industry. Like we're like the badasses. We're the best. And we got to my pricing, and my pricing was so low compared to what she thinks it should be. She told me 2 things. She's like, 1, you're undervaluing yourself, and I agreed that yes, I have a tendency to undervalue what I I undervalue my own worth because I know that I do great work, but I don't want people to pay too much. And then she said the one thing that really stung, and she said this with love, but man, it hurt. She said, when I see that your pricing is too low, I wonder what's wrong with you. And that was a wake-up call, because like, whoa, hold on, I'm the real deal. Like, so pricing, right? Pricing. A lot of people want a good deal, right? But then if you were to get a Porsche for $20, would you value the Porsche? You would wonder what's wrong with the Porsche, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Whereas a Yugo, you're like, yeah, $20 for a Yugo. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? It's a perceived value thing. And so when this super successful coach of mine says, yeah, what's wrong with you? You're too low. What's the deal here? It's like, holy crap. So fortunately, she walked me through all the steps. God bless you, Susie. To like look at all that I do and take it up a few notches as far as what I'm worth, and then show and educate people on all the extra value that they get when working with me. And it makes sense, and I'm going to go for it. I mean, I may not get as many high-paying clients in the very first month of 2020 as I hope, but hopefully by the time the end of 2020 hits, we're in December of 2020, and I have increased my own sense of self-worth and therefore presented myself as such. It'll be really interesting. I almost want to look forward in the future. Like, how far did I get? Did I make it? Did I make it to the $1 million goal? Did I transition to go from clients who value me but can't really afford me to people who both value me and can afford me? It'll be really fascinating. The other business coach that I have talked about value of time, and I'm feeling a bit like a hamster on a treadmill, on a wheel hamster wheel, or a person running a treadmill. Like, I just feel like I'm constantly running, and I don't know if I'm really feeling rejuvenated because I'm always like running, and it's a bit exhausting. And so he was telling me the value of having a virtual assistant. Cost savings, as well as time savings, as well as giving a person in a different country great wages for their area and giving them a sense of purpose by doing really good, important work. So it's like, wow, that's a win-win-win. So there's that kind of value. And then the third business coach is Vanya, and she is always amazing. She shows me so much value in what she provides me, but she also reminded me, because of certain health issues, the value of self-care. And that when you take good care of yourself, that's when you can then take care of other people. But if you're not taking good care of yourself, then are you giving the high quality, valuable time and attention to those who need you? So it's just that's what I came up with this week.
Busy week.
Yeah, busy week.
For sure.
And as we go into the holidays, we're going to go home and visit family, and that's extremely valuable. Time is so precious.
Yeah. The other thing I did too with my week was I had to bring my mom to the to get an MRI done.
Yeah.
She's having some issues with her knees, or with one knee, and since I started working from home, that was one of the things that I told my mom, like, if you need help with something, I'm available for the most part, which is, I think, an aspect of being able to work on your own. By that I mean you're not going to a date,
you're not commuting.
You're not commuting, punching in and working, for someone at their location. But it was, my mom lives about an hour away from, we live in Monterey, so she lives in Soledad, California. So it's about an hour down and then an hour up, and then, like another 15 minutes to the actual MRI place, which is in Carmel. And then just backtrack all that. So like one of my days started out at about 10:30, and I didn't get home till about 5:30.
But you had valuable time with Mom.
But I had valuable time with my mother. Just it's a long drive, so
And you took her to lunch
chat,
too, didn't
you talk, catch up, and yeah, we did have some lunch. But time is valuable, and in a lot of different ways, right? Because that was a day where I didn't work, but I got to spend time with my mom and also help her out too as well.
Yeah.
Which was a treat in a way.
Yeah, right?
So.
And then yesterday, we went and drove up to San Francisco, which is about a 2.5-hour trip, meeting with potential clients. We met one of the employees there, who's in line to be a future owner when the original owner retires. This guy and the son of the owner are going to be the business partners running it, second generation shop. Pat's Garage, go there. They're in the Dog Patch neighborhood of San Francisco. Great people, and they specialize in Asian vehicles, Japanese vehicles. Anyway, great people, and we don't normally drive somewhere to go see a client, but they offered pizza, and Rene and I are easily led with food, so we drove up.
Pizza's easy.
Yeah, we drove up, met with them, and it was just a wonderful. Actually, I'm really glad we drove up, because there is something about the value of sitting with someone face to face and having wonderful conversations, finding out how much you have in common. We got to see a Fisker automobile.
Those are
close.
cool. Those are cool.
Have you ever seen a Fisker? It's kind of like a Tesla. What is it? A hybrid, or is it an electrical vehicle?
I
think it is electrical.
It's an electrical
I think it's
vehicle.
an
This
EV.
one had like a solar panel as well on
Yeah,
top.
it had a solar panel on the roof, and it's a gorgeous car. Oh my God, it's so sexy. It's beautiful, because Fisker was a car designer.
It's a big long car. This was a
It
four-seater.
was a sedan, and in the middle column is where the batteries lie. It's like a giant, big.
It's like the battery.
There's no making out in the back seat of this thing
Because it's got like a divider that
big.
runs
That the entire
down
length of the
front
car.
and the back seats.
But it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look up Fisker, Fisker. It was
Yeah.
it was a Karma. It was a Karma.
The Karma Rivero, I think, is what they have
Dang.
have rebranded as.
It's like a $150,000 car.
Yeah.
But since Pat's Garage does electric vehicles, forgive me, I don't have all their stuff memorized yet, but like ultimately they're helping convert. They work on a lot of hybrids, but then they also convert those hybrids into plug-ins to get people from. They're like taking people, giving them a midway point between driving a hybrid and driving a full electric vehicle. They'll actually do those hybrid plug-in conversions, which is neat. It's very neat what they're doing. They're a very cool group of people. I really, really enjoyed them. So we got to meet them, share all the value that we offer as a marketing agency, learn all the amazing stuff that they do. And that's my favorite part of this whole job, Rene. I get to fall in love with my clients because they're so awesome. Like, I don't have a single boring person that I work with. Like, everybody that I work with and do service for is just an awesome person with a great story and a great team around them. And Pat is Pat's Garage. He's just a badass. And they got to meet you and see your art and what you do for Rockstar Marketing, heading up the Rockstar Media division, which is all the graphic design and all the videos and all the logos and stuff.
Graphic design work, yeah.
Yeah.
Media.
And it's so interesting, too, because when we were visiting with Bill and Sheila Greeno of Quality Automotive Servicing in Truckee, you saw them in the other episode, we were all talking about tangible versus intangible, right? And some of us have jobs where you can't necessarily see what it is that we do, right? Yeah, we do social media, so you can see the posts that we put on Facebook and all the other different channels. But as far as all the tweaking, all the creation of the posts, all of the writing of the blogs, like there's a lot of time where you don't see what we're doing, right? All the responses to the reviews, there's like a lot of that stuff. And so I get this question a lot, especially at the end of the year when people are reevaluating their contracts and they're like, so Jen, what have you done for me lately? And I'm like, really? And then I start listing off all the things and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what you do, because they can't see it. But the cool thing with Rene is what he creates is very visual. It's like, oh, this is what Rene does. Do I like it? Yes, I sure do. But like, this is very tangible. By the way, I like how you have the matte paper that it's easy to write on. I know that the previous...
That was a change from the previous year.
Yeah, the previous year, and it's still glossy-ish on this side, but it's matte finish like normal paper on this side, so you can actually write on it. I think that's a nice improvement.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Where's my favorite one? She's really cute. And this one, this looks so much like my best friend, Jennifer Barnes. I really think of you every single time I look at this painting. I really like him too. What's his name? Does he have a name?
Core.
Core. Is that K-O-R?
That's K-O-R.
K-O-R, Core. I think he's really unique and cool. I remembered when you put this up on Facebook and people were like, dude, whoa, that's cool, right? Because he's just got an interesting look to him, and then these things.
There's a feeling or a sense of intrigue, maybe even a little bit of like, whoa, I don't want to get near that, but like I'm drawn to it.
Right. You don't know if it's a friendly or a... He looks friendly to me. He's, you know what it is? He's sexy. Look at those abs.
You bring into it whatever you want.
Right?
Yeah.
And you really like her. What's her name?
Evelina.
Evelina. And then this dude.
That dude.
You don't see the dragon here, but he's got a dragon like right here. He's interesting.
Yep. They're all just they're my characters, and talking about value. I value this project because it's my own project, and so, I'm putting as much effort into it as I can and as I want, and right now that's a lot. And so, because I am intent on creating basically my own intellectual property, it has a high value in terms of how I want to put it out there, how I want to write it, how I want to draw it, how I want to present it, how I want to shape it as a creator. So this is basically my sandbox right here.
So, all right, let's talk about that. Okay, you're selling this for $25, which in a way is one of the most expensive calendars ever.
Right.
Right? But the value behind this is original artwork.
It is original artwork.
And it's limited edition print.
Well, this itself is not limited edition. If I run out, I can order more, but it's based on characters where there are limited edition prints that I sell, but it's not to size, and a lot of these are just they've been formatted to fit the calendar, so it's not the entire imagery. But collectively, this is like the only place where you'll get these printed characters in a print format.
Oh.
In a calendar. I don't want to say this is exclusive because one of the plans I have for next year is to also create an art of book.
Oh.
So like the art of the realm ethereal, which is going to probably include these characters, but with like new supporting artwork as well. So the calendar itself is it brings to reality and fruition what I've been doing
all year long,
so that like you can hold it, you can see it, and it represents like each little thing that I'm drawing and painting, whatever you want to call it, exists online. But there's something about when you have something produced, whether it's a shoe bag, a print, a poster, that makes it real. And there you go with that word tangible, which has a certain amount of perceived value.
Right. That
can take an idea that was in my head, that was then, even if you're painting like on a canvas, it still has to go from like pigment to the brush to the canvas to become something tangible. So all ideas start off in your head, but then they eventually have to, or they can eventually form into something, whether it's a sculpture or a home or a house or a car or an image that you create. And so the value is when you have something tangible, it represents like a certain like achievement that's been unlocked.
Yeah.
Because you've more than produced something, like you've finished something. So finishing is just as important. It's a diploma, yeah.
But no, I get it, right? Because
it's a representation of the work.
How many hours? Like, okay, a lot of people who are not artists will look at this going, "Oh, that's nice." Right? But when you think about it, this took you all year.
Yeah, if you look at the 12 paintings in there, there's an average of between maybe 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 hours per painting.
Per painting. So let's just say 40 times 12.
It's over 4,000 hours.
4,800 hours, yes?
And then that can easily be more when you talk about...
Did we get that right? No. Is it 480? 480, sorry.
Is it
480?
480. Oh, yeah.
Hours.
Yeah, you're right.
Times 12. Right? Mathematicians, please help me. My brain is fried.
So just go 40.
So the point is that if you're looking at, okay, well, it's a calendar compared to a $2 calendar. All right, cool. But like this $25 represents 480 hours plus the cost of the printing and the materials that you have to use. I mean, obviously you have art supplies.
Actually, when it comes to digital, I have an iPad and I have a Apple Pencil.
True, but that iPad is just as valuable, if not more so, than all the inks and all the paints and all the brushes and, more importantly, all the schooling. So like, whether it's an iPad or a brush, it's still an incredibly valuable tool. Right? And iPads don't live forever. No, so you eventually have to replace it.
Right.
So what we're telling you is that it's kind of interesting. It's like, okay, now that we've had this discussion, $25 for this calendar does not seem bad at all. In fact, it's like, wow, that's a deal, right?
And you're gonna find a lot of times when you have an independent artist like myself, and I'm not printing 5,000 copies of this. I'm
Limited
printing
edition.
a smalling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it's not limited edition.
Well, what I mean by that is, okay,
so in
you're
the
not
world,
gonna run out and print 1,000 of these
Right.
a month before January 2020, and you have no distribution
Right.
channel. So it is a
Right.
limited edition. I mean, yes, it's digital. You can conjure up any number of printed copies of this, but let's face it. How many did you get? How many did you order?
I ordered 25 copies to start off with.
So, yeah, that's limited edition.
Well, if I sell out, then
You order more.
I order more. So it's not limited. So limited means that. So let me tell you what limited
Okay.
means. Limited means if I printed 25 and only 25, and I put it out there, there's only 25.
Oh, so there's a scarcity.
That's what limited edition means.
Oh,
Limited edition. If they made 100 of the minis that you first bought, there were no more made after that.
I do love my car.
Yeah, that could be considered, limited in a sense. In the world of comic books, when you go to a first printing, or when you run out of your initial printing, and the book is just like selling like crazy, then you go to a second printing.
Okay.
So
should we call this a first printing versus a limited edition? Now that I'm getting schooled as far as what a limited
no,
edition is.
because the truth is that this is print on demand. So which is yet another avenue. So yeah, these calendars are print on demand because what that means is they're basically printed on a higher end laser copy machine.
Oh,
but
that's right.
But they are production type models and whatnot.
Right.
So, but
Not
it's,
chintzy paper, not chintzy printing. They're high quality.
they are high quality, yeah, because these are those machines that, and I would know
These are the
because they were-
calendars you don't throw away. These are the calendars that you save because Rene signed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Would you say that these could be collected like comic books?
Yeah, anything can be collected. Anything can be collected. It just depends on the person's tastes. you
Yeah.
know. People collect license plates.
That's true, huh? When we went to Pat's Garage, we saw
Yeah.
all the license plates that they
Yeah.
collected and had on display.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of, again, value. What's the perceived value?
Yeah.
If you have a writer whose work you really love, and they said, I'm going to release this as a PDF file. That's not a book, but you can read something that you love from this writer that you would not be able to read any other way. If they said, I'm just going to release my next book as a PDF, and you're like, oh, well, I got to have it. And I've done that before. I've bought digital versions of comic books because it was more important for me to kind of read the story or just like really see the artwork without having to wait to back order something. But I think with the calendar, my perceived value and how I market this is that it is the art, and at this stage and point right now in my career, this is like the extent to which I could produce something like this instead of producing like 1,000 or 1,500 copies. So part of business is also knowing how much your cost of goods is, and right now the margins for experimenting with producing any of the merchandise that I have is at a point where I can comfortably invest money into it without having to say, order like 1,000 X, 1,000 Y, and then be stuck with something that won't move. So, in this day and age of digital art and digital media and like social
demand.
media, on demand is the way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm starting out. I don't have a following. I don't have fans.
Not yet.
I don't have like large numbers of fans that would warrant going out and printing books off in China, which would be cheaper. But then when you do stuff like that, you're usually printing 1,000 to 1,500 copies of said things. And I've seen artists who put out like, let's just say this was an art book of some sort, and then they get it funded on Kickstarter, and then they have it printed overseas, and then it's fulfilled and everything, and it's like, yeah, we got the order for $2,000 or even $1,500, and you realize when the books show up with from a freight truck, and you have 5 or 6 pallets, you know, then it becomes weird, and it becomes not weird, it becomes like real, it becomes like a logistic thing. Like, can you imagine if like I had printed 2,000 of these?
Well, that's why you want to do a pre-sale. You sell
Right.
all those before they get
But then
shipped.
you're looking at warehousing, because we don't have room for
Well, if
3 or
you're
4 pallets.
if you already have buyers, then you don't have to worry about warehousing it, right? But you're right. Like if you just said, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and buy 2,000 books, and they came in, then you're like, oof, now I gotta go find.
I got to find some place to fulfill them and
Yeah.
ship them. But
Yeah.
but when it comes to you know, the value, getting back to our original topic and question or whatnot, the value is, again, in being able to bring to like reality and make it tangible, because that to me is like it's like real when it comes to that. So all the
Versus
artwork I'm
living
doing,
in your hard drive.
versus living in my hard drive, and versus like just putting it online. And I know there's a lot of products that are just basically just live on your phone or live on your laptop or live on your desktop computer. But for me, because we're talking books and whatnot, like that's kind of like my avenue. And when it comes to creating merchandise and whatnot, like that's just it. It's merchandise. It's like, you know, something tangible, which leads into like the avenues I want to get into anyway, which is book production and selling books or prints, or whether it's drawstring bags or the desk mats that I have. You know, all that is merchandise. And so the value is trying to create product that I like and that I can merchandise out there. Sell, I should say. You know, sell merchandise on that. So that's the goal for 2020, is
Yep.
to
And you're on your
get my
way
product out there.
because your lion character, Azreef, who's featured in September, this guy is going to be prominently featured in a video game.
That's the plan, I think. Yeah.
And-
So it's exciting just to have that in development.
Right?
So
And if this is successful, then all these folks could be potentially in video games, yes?
probably.
So yeah, 2020 could be a very good year for Rene's art career. Meanwhile, we'll keep him busy with rockstar marketing stuff. By the way, I really like her. You have a story about her. What's her name?
Her name is Kasia.
Kasia. Like
she's the lead.
like Asia with a C, Kasia.
Yes.
And I love the story that you're developing about her. She's really interesting.
Yeah, so go check it out online.
Yeah,
you'll
I like
find
her
stuff.
story.
Just again, go to reneariola.com and you will find links to the story.
And even though I'm married to the guy, he doesn't tell me what the storyline is going to be. He's creating it, and he keeps it a mystery for me. So like, I don't even know what the story is going to be, but like, I'm hooked. I'm like, so what happens next?
Yeah, I got to work on that too. I've got to work on that comic book. So
Yeah, don't leave me hanging.
I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
So
Value. So I think we covered value pretty well.
Yeah.
I think for 2020, what do I want 2020 to look like? I think I want 2020 to be as balanced as it can be considering all the circumstances. The signs are really pretty solid that my father will be passing away in 2020. I hope I'm wrong. That would be great. But some life changes are going to be happening in my family. And I want to be a good daughter. And I want to be there. And thankfully, because we work from home, we have the mobility to work from anywhere as long as there's an internet connection. So that's good. And 100% of my clients, God bless them, are understanding that I'm going to be facing a transition of flying home quite a bit, being home for my dad, being home for my grandmothers.
And home being Florida.
And home being Florida. And we live out in California. So it's you know, we're not close by. We can't just, you know, show up on the door and offer to help. We have to do a little bit more planning. But I guess the other really big goal besides being there for family is to make sure that the business is super successful so we can go to Florida at the drop of a hat and not have to worry about, I can't afford it. I am not going to live with regret because I couldn't afford to make the trip. So we will make those trips, by hook or by crook, right? Because family is so important. And I have a lot of stretching. I think 2020 is going to be the year. I'm trying to figure out my theme, but clear stretching seems to be like a theme because I want to have clarity as I go in, like 2020. I got to have something related to vision, right? I've got a clear vision of where I want to go. I want to take the business to the next level, which is taking it from 6 figures to 7 figures. That would be awesome. And that's a real stretch goal for me, to make $1 million gross for the agency. That would be like really amazing, right? And I've got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to be stretching myself beyond my comfort zone, outside of the auto repair industry. I'm going to be seeking out other professional industries such as accounting and law firms and real estate brokers and doctors and veterinarians, dentists, engineers, consulting firms, like the professional industries that require more training than most, right? So if I can help them with their marketing, that'll be great. And those are not my native industries. I have actually written and done marketing for all of those industries before, but I've gotten so niche in the auto repair world that now I need to go beyond that. So I'm going to be like, you know, kind of going outside of my comfort zone. So I'm going to be speaking at a lot more events. I'm going to be doing a lot more podcasts. I'm going to be doing a lot more sharing of my wisdom outside of my natural circle. So, but I'm very clear in my vision of what I want to do, and I'm going to be balancing the whole family thing with all that. So I've signed up for it. I'm willingly signing up for it. I want to push because I have some big dreams. You know, I want us to be able to buy a house. I really do. I want to be able to afford to buy a house. And out here it's kind of challenging. So, and I know we could live in other places, but I really like living here. So if we could buy a house here, man, we have made it. Oh my gosh. So that's what I want to do.
Cool.
And I also want to like grow and nurture my team and just, you know, make them like the best team that's super happy and super efficient and I guess shoring up some of our systems and processes so it's just a really smooth working engine. So, you know, I don't have, so for example, when I disappear for a week because I'm sitting at my father's bedside, that my team is like, we got this, boss, we got this, we're good. The engine keeps running while I'm tending to my dad or possibly my grandmothers who are 95 and 96. So we've got a lot going on, but it's all good. And
It's all life.
I'm glad that I can be there.
Yeah.
What a blessing. Thank God we work for ourselves. You know, there are times when you're a self-employed and you doubt, like, am I going to make it? Should I go get a job somewhere else? And there's always that option, right? But the freedom of being able to go and be with family in times of need and not having to ask for time off, that is a huge bonus. That's valuable.
I think that's the thing to recognize. It's valuable. So, you know, we'll use it while we can. It's something to not devalue and take for granted. So,
correct.
You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
still have to pay attention to what's going on, but it's
yeah.
nice to have a team that can support you and uplift you while it's going on. Well, my love, I think we're good. thank you so very much for spending time with us. Thank you for all of your support and your love, and I'm so glad that you're a part of our world. It's really neat, this journey that we're having. I'm really enjoying Marriage Plus Business. It's just fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah. I mean, we talk all the time. We're married, we go to dinner, but we're not like talking like this at dinner. This is when we genuinely talk about this kind of stuff. So it's like, it's a delightful surprise because it's unscripted and I never know what you're going to say. And I'm always like, huh, that's cool.
Cool and interesting.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Love you and Merry Christmas.